Senator from Ohio.
Mr. President, I'd like to join my colleague from Washington State in talking about the importance of extending the Perkins loan program. The House has already acted on this. They extended it for 1 year, and all we're asking is that our colleagues on both sides of the aisle allow us to have the opportunity to do that here, probably by unanimous consent. This shouldn't be terribly controversial. After all, this is a program that's working. I'm following a number of my colleagues today in talking about this. We just heard from Senator Murray. We've also heard from Senator Collins, Senator Baldwin, Senator Ayotte, Senator Casey. This is a bipartisan effort. It's an attempt on our part to ensure that students aren't going to fall between the cracks. They're getting started this fall in their colleges and universities and wondering, is this program going to be there, or are we going to allow it to expire? We got to be sure that these young people know that, yes, the program's going to be there, and yes, they're going to have the opportunity to get ahead by using this relatively low-cost student loan option that's focused on kids with the most need to be able to get an education. Since 1958, this program has been strong. It's been one that works. And by the way, there's no appropriation involved here. There's no spending involved here. It's a matter of just allowing the program to continue. The program has what's called a revolving fund, where when somebody gets a loan and pays that loan back, the money goes back to another student. So this is an opportunity for us to continue a program that's working. If we don't pass it, we're going to have a situation where new loans will not be awarded. College tuition is already too tough. I hear about it all the time from families back home, from students back home. One of the biggest concerns they have, we had a teletown hall meeting last night, and one of the biggest concerns people have, of course, is the cost of education. Now, this is a way to ensure that young people can pursue their dreams, despite the fact that college tuitions are too high in many cases, and this is a tool that is incredibly important. It's also a matching program. It hasn't been talked about much here on the floor today, but the fact is this program is administered by the schools. The schools actually match so that they're providing some of the funding for this. That's another reason I like this program. There are 67 schools in my state of Ohio. In the Buckeye State, we've got 67 colleges and universities to take advantage of this. I've gotten some really interesting correspondence from some of those schools and students. Last year, there were 25,000 or so Ohio students who received Perkins loans. I've heard from Kent State, they've got 3,000 students involved in Perkins there. I've heard from Ohio State, they've got 1,700 students there. I've also heard from other schools. I've heard from the University of Toledo, Oberlin, Ohio Wesleyan. And Mr. President, I would like, if I could, to get unanimous consent to include some of this correspondence in the record at this point because they describe the need for the program so well.
Without objection.
It's not just about Ohio, of course, it's about the entire country. In fact, there are 1,700 post-secondary institutions that take advantage of the program. Allowing it to expire is going to affect all those institutions and all those many thousands of students. Tuitions are already too high. We should be making it easier, not harder, for students to be able to pay for college. I've heard concerns from some of my colleagues that we shouldn't extend this and not allow unanimous consent to occur here because they'd like to improve the program and maybe make the program work better, maybe make it even more targeted, update it, modernize it, make sure the funds are allocated properly. I don't disagree with that at all. I agree that this program, like just about every other program in the federal government, can be improved. And that should be part of our work here. We should be reforming these programs so that they are more efficient, more cost-effective, getting to the folks who really need the program the most. So while I agree we need to look at it and try to make some changes, I think we should not take the step of allowing it to expire. Why? Because, in effect, what we're doing there is we're saying it's going to be on the students. It's going to be at the expense of those students who need the aid. It should be on us. We should be doing our work. So I hope that we will go ahead and allow this extension to occur, and then let's work on those solutions. I think it may be easier to have these reforms take place if we're not working under the gun. In other words, having allowed this program to expire. Letting something lapse and trying to figure out how to bring it back is not the way the American people and the people that I represent in Ohio expect Congress to work. I think they expect us to get our job done, and I think we can do that with the extension. The Department of Education has already indicated to us that they may start recall funding in October from colleges and universities if this program is not extended. And by the way, not extending Perkins won't help with the nation's budget problems, again, because of this revolving fund and the way it works. One loan is paid back and another loan is extended. So this is the right thing to do. As we ensure that government continues to operate, let's ensure the Perkins loan program does as well. I'd like to thank my colleagues on the other side of the aisle for their discussion today on this issue. I'd like to urge the leadership on both sides of the aisle to focus on this issue. Let's be sure and do what the Senate should do along with the House. The House acted already for a one-year extension. Let's simply do what the House did. Let's ensure that we're providing these new loans to the students that need them while we continue our efforts to reform this program and make it even stronger going forward. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield back the balance of my time.